So now we're going to briefly talk about cover letters. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this just because I think every cover letter is unique to you and to the position that you're applying to. But within that, there is certain tips and tricks in a certain format that you can begin to follow to ensure that you have a successful cover letter. So first and foremost, your cover letter is really the ability for you to tell your story and continue showcasing the value that you bring to that school system and to that employer. So I always like to kind of think about it as a way to really personalize your resume and add specific examples to add depth and to really showcase the work and the relevant experiences that you've done prior. Um, each letter is going to be very tailored to the specific school and to the position that you're interested in. So with that being said, you might have multiple cover letters in different versions. For the most part, some of your content might be very similar. You might be using similar examples, but each one should embed some research and to showcase that you have knowledge of the school that you're applying to. You should always write a cover letter to a specific person, so whether that's the principal, if it's a recruiter that you met at a job fair. But either way, if you don't have the specific person's name, I think Dear Hiring Manager is the professional and is the most professional way that you can say that without knowing the name. In terms of how you should write this, the structure, it should be in more business letter format. So it should be no more than 1 page and at the max 4 paragraphs. It's typically 3, but that second paragraph can be broken up into 2, especially if you're getting a little bit lengthy. You want to match the font of your resume. You can use the same exact header from your resume as well, just to keep your document consistent. Your margins can also be 0.5 inches, and your font size can again be anywhere between 10 and 12. So that similar format. And the next thing is that it is single spaced, so it's not indented. This example here to the right kind of showcases really what that could look like. I always tell people to use your own words. Try not to be too competitive, but it is a professional document, but you do want to showcase like your personality and showcase like your passion and your excitement as well. Sometimes I think cover letters can be like a bit robotic or they can just sound super stuffy and not really like it's written by you. Proofreading, that is so important when you're creating a cover letter. As I've said before, you're applying for teaching positions. You really want to make sure that you have proper grammar, that you don't have a ton of spelling errors, that you're using the correct punctuations, because those are pretty easy to pick up on. And then the last thing, you always want to end on a good note, and I'll talk a little bit more about that on this next slide. So in terms of the format, and I'll also send some samples along as well, but there typically is 3 paragraphs. The opening paragraph is really basic, essential information. I kind of like to think of it more as like your objective and why you're writing in that initial paragraph. So you're going to state the position that you're applying for. You can include information on how you heard of the position, maybe who referred you, if there's someone directly in the school. And I always tell people, check the school website, look at their social media. Maybe it's conversations you've had with a teacher there. Mention something that really interests you. I think it's always great to embed things to personalize the cover letter, showcase that you've done your research, and also showcase that you have a good understanding of the school system that you're applying to. So that next paragraph, again, can be broken into 2. I like to think of this as the tell and sell paragraph. So really this paragraph, you are showcasing your relevant skills and experiences for this employer. It's kind of a summary of that, but alongside that, you want to have very specific examples and you want to walk them through specific examples. Because it's one thing to say like, I'm very organized, I've created really great lessons, I connect really well with my students, but it's another to say that and then be like, for example, in my classroom, I did this. So again, it's a way to personalize your cover letter, showcase specific examples, and also to make sure that you're not fully regurgitating your resume, which is a little bit shorter. I think here you really want to highlight special accomplishments and really set yourself apart. I think all throughout your cover letter, but especially here, you want to display enthusiasm, showcase that you've done your research, and just make sure that, again, you are showcasing the value you bring to the employer through specific examples. And the last little tidbit here for me is trying not to start every sentence with the letter I or with the word I. So I did this, I did that, I did this. It just becomes really unappealing to read. So just being able to differentiate that structure kind of throughout is really helpful. Oops, sorry about that. That last paragraph, kind of that graceful exit. So you really want to thank them and kind of wrap it up. Include contact information, how to get best a hold of you. I believe mine is, thank you for paying attention to my application materials. I certainly welcome the opportunity to chat with you further about my skills and experiences. Please contact me at the information listed above. So again, pretty standard throughout, and it doesn't have to have all the bells and whistles in that last paragraph. I really do think that middle paragraph is where should be the longest, and this should where you spend most of your time. And like I said, I'm going to provide your instructor with different samples as well, because I know that these can be challenging the first time you write them, but I'm also happy to review these as well. Thanks.